Hi, this is Mike, WB4HUC, and here's another little update on the software I've been working on for the tuner and the amplifier to report the status of various things. So I had a breakthrough of sorts a couple of days ago on the tuner program that was giving me some troubles. I reworked some of the code, and both programs are almost the same. I mean, they're structured the same. I basically took the first one I did and used it as a model for the second one. But anyway, I redid a bunch of things, and they seem to be both really working pretty well right now. So again, it's the K4, the Elecraft K4. And then here's the status reporting program for the amplifier, the KPA500, and here's the status reporting program for the tuner, the KAT500. And you can see right now I'm reporting the serial number, firmware version. That's true for both, serial number, firmware version. Here's the operating temperature of the amp. Here's the status, operator standby, the current band, the voltage current, the radio interface, and if there's a fault. And then down here is the tuner, serial number, firmware version, operating mode, manual, automatic, or bypass, which antenna selected, the current band, and the frequency as reported by the radio. So if I turn the VFO knob, keep your eye on that frequency indicator. It only resolves down to 1 kilohertz, but if I change, then it'll change. The fault code, if there is one, and whether the amplifier keyline is connected. We went through that on the last update. So really all I have to do is press the tune button without putting any power through the tuner, and you'll see that the key line is interrupted. If I push the tune button again to untune, I guess you'd say, or stop the tuning cycle, then we go back to connected. One little thing I added was when one of these statuses change, it temporarily turns green and then back to white just to let you know what happened. So as I change the tuner, the operating mode, just watch what it'll do. I'm sorry, that was the antenna. I pushed the wrong button. So I'm pushing the antenna button and you see it flashes green and then it goes back. The operating mode, bypass, then automatic, back to manual. Now, here's an interesting thing. If I go to the amplifier and I change the operating status, standby, the radio knows we're in standby mode, back to operate, the radio knows we're back to operate. But if I change bands, keep your eye on both of these as I change bands. So if I take the other mouse, I change bands. So you'll see that over here we went to 160 meters. Down here we went to antenna 3, 160 meters, and the frequency of 1866. And again, if I turn the VFO knob, that'll change down here. So it changed to antenna 3 because in the the KAT500 utility program, I've set up which antenna I want for which band, right? So and then loaded that stuff and saved that stuff back into the tuner. So this only reports what's happening. We're not changing anything here. So the operation of the tuner is defined by however it was set up using the KAT500 utility program. And all we're doing is reflecting that in here. So if I change bands again, and let's go to 21 megahertz, for instance. So you see we went to 15 meters up here, and then down here we went to antenna 1, we went to 15 meters in the frequency. And there's still maybe a few little timing issues. You saw I believe it was the antenna display got a little funky for a minute and then straightened itself out. Um, Maybe some timing issues between all these things happen. I don't really know. But if we go to 20 meters, just keep an eye on the tuner display, and so we changed to 20 meters and we changed frequency. So anytime any of these change, they'll flash green for a moment and then they'll go back to white just to kind of get your attention that they changed. And then if anything bad happens, if the fault code up here triggers, that should turn red. If the fault code down here triggers, I believe that should turn red. And then if the amplifier key line, we already saw that one. If it gets interrupted, that'll show up in red. So there you go. Again, I keep tweaking these things a little bit. Probably won't be more than one or two more updates, but I'm almost done, I think. Maybe some little stuff to straighten out, but in any case, there you go. I've got these two things working fairly well. And just to mention it again, so I'm using BBC Basic. So it's BBC Basic for SDL, and I gave the information in the first video where you could download that interpreter. And then the program, I'm just calling them the KPA500. And again, we're not going to go through this stuff again. We already went through it once. But again, BASIC is a fun little language. And this version of BASIC, you can actually do quite a bit. So again, learning experience, trying to learn the language, trying to learn or remember what I used to know about serial port communications and the like. And there you go. So this is just a kind of a fun little thing for me that I decided I wanted to try to do, and so far it's working out pretty well. Anyway, again, as always, thank you for watching.